All right, welcome back in year two, live now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. Nobody on planet Earth maybe has had a bigger week than Bad Bunny, as on Sunday he made history taking home Album of the Year at the Grammys, and then coming up just 7 short days later, he will headline the Super Bowl 60 halftime show, and it was the first time an all Spanish language album earned the honor in Los Angeles, and you can see this from the Associated Press. Bad Bunny won Album of the Year at the Grammys, closing out a surprising and history-making night. It's the first time Spanish language album has taken home that top prize.
Trump got roasted at the Grammys without even being there. Not a rumor, not clickbait. On live TV, the culture said, "You're not on the guest list," and kept dancing. Bad Bunny spoke for immigrants. Trevor Noah kept it playful and sharp, and the room didn't flinch. Keep watching to see how those moments humiliate a guy who craves mainstream validation, and why that craving is his weak spot. Why did a few soft laughs, a short speech about basic decency, and one empty seat land like a velvet rope, smacking grumpy Trumpy in the face? Because the Grammys are the room he chased for years. Bright network lights, A-listers trading hugs, millions watching to see who gets love and who gets side-eye. That room is the status scoreboard. You don't buy your way in. You get waved in by the vibe. And Sunday night, the vibe said, nah. Here's the tension that always cracks him. He begs for mainstream approval while screaming at it. He trashes the press, then phones the press. He mocks award shows, then rages when they ignore him. It's like Donnie Diapers trying to get into a VIP lounge after yelling at the bouncer all year. He wants the wristband. He just doesn't want to admit it. Trevor Noah steered that ship with a smile that did more damage than a roast. Warm, quick, never sweaty, he kept politics in the background like a bass line. No name-calling, no cheap shots. He framed the room as open and calm, like, we're not scared of you, we're having fun. That tone is deadly to a tough guy brand. When a host can weave soft political threads without saying Trump, it tells every famous person in the seats, your joke is safe, your cheer is safe, your clap is safe. Fear loses its edge when the laugh is easy. Cultural theory says politics flows downstream from culture. Award shows are mood meters. They grant or deny permission. When the cheers spike for a value, people clock it and carry it into group chats, offices, and family tables. We've seen this before. When #MeToo erupted on these stages, lawmakers heard the echo. When artists dedicated wins to immigrant families, cable panels followed. The Grammys don't pass bills, they pass vibes, and the vibes set guardrails. Billie Eilish brought the antidote to bluster, quiet conviction. She put empathy at the center and linked it to action, saying our voices really do matter and the people matter. And that line landed because it was human, not theatrical. The applause wasn't for flexing, it was for care. In that room, the winning brand is vulnerability, not chest thumping. The crowd rewards people who lift others, not the orange turd energy of look at me dominance. Nicki Minaj's no-show worked like a wink from the universe. No drama thread, no messy back and forth. Just an empty chair that said, your loudest celebrity backer isn't the flavor tonight. The opening gag even framed her absence as time spent with him on very important issues, which sounded like a nudge at clout chasing. The silence did the heavy lifting. That's cooler than a feud. That's social frost. Put it together, and you get the nightmare he can't bully. Trevor turned the room into an inside joke he couldn't crash. Laughter without fear, applause without deference. When a host signals ease, the cameras pan to stars nodding along, and that becomes the permission slip. And that empty seat, it read like a soft clapback at his new #1 fan, as if the room said, hey, congrats on the endorsement, but we're good. Now we hit the part that stung. The immigrant rights message rolled through the show, and the old build the wall routine looked dated, like a meme from an election 2 cycles ago. The energy shifted toward community, dignity, and belonging. The stage didn't need to shout to make the point. It only needed to keep the door open to everyone who's been told they don't belong, and the crowd told you who they were with by how long they stood. What single theme made the border talk feel stuck in 2016? Bad Bunny centered humanity, not hype. That's it. He set the frame as people first, policy second, and the old Fear playlist started to sound like elevator music in a lobby nobody hangs out in anymore. On the biggest stage, he didn't just shout out immigrants. He presented them as fully American in everything but the paperwork label. Community, contribution, dignity, work, art, family. Not a guest at the table, part of the house. That's a big switch. When you define who belongs by what they build and who they love, the wall talk turns into background noise. It can't compete with faces and names and jobs and songs. It reads small. And here's the direct collision. He pushed human-first language and anti-ICE critique against the greatest hits from the old act: fear, raids, and walls. That catalog needs an enemy. His message didn't give it one. He said, "I'm going to say it in Spanish so that you all understand me better. We are not savages. We are not animals. We are not aliens. We are not monsters. We are not terrorists. We are human beings. We are workers. We are dreamers. We are artists. We are musicians. We are students. We are sons and daughters. We are mothers and fathers. We are people. We are human beings." Then he added, "So please, we need to be different. If we fight, we have to do it with love. We don't hate them. We love our people. We love our family, and that's the way to do it with love. Don't forget that, please." Saying it bilingually was the flex. No translation needed. The room felt it. The message landed because it's rooted in identity, not spin. This isn't vibes only. Research shows immigrants add serious weight to the economy and the culture. They start businesses, fill key jobs, and push music, food, and tech forward. Polling keeps showing more support for humane immigration reform, especially when you pair safety with dignity. People get that communities don't work when you treat neighbors like suspects for a campaign line. The data backs the emotion. Empathy plus facts is a hard combo to beat. And it wasn't just one voice. Shabuzi stood up and said, "Immigrants built this country literally. This is for them now. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color." Olivia Dean called herself a granddaughter of an immigrant and a product of bravery, adding that those people deserve to be celebrated. That turned the show into a roll call. Heritage wasn't a side note. It was the frame of the night. When story after story ties roots to the idea of America, the border scare talk looks like it's missing the plot. Social psychology backs this too. Inclusive messages reduce out-group fear. Contact and narrative framing shift norms. When people hear human stories, anxiety drops, and the us versus them line blurs. It changes what feels normal to say at work, online, and yes, at award shows. That's how a permission structure forms. The room told you everything with its hands. Applause beats algorithm. When stars clap for dignity, it signals safety to speak up. Cosigns travel. A cheer in that room becomes 100 safer conversations elsewhere. And guess who hates safe laughter? The tough guy brand. Fear needs silence. It needs people looking at their shoes. That's not what happened. So if culture is moving, what happens to a politician built on being feared when the laughs get louder?